Audio check. Audio seems good. Welcome. I apologize for that angle. But I've been wanting to do this for some time. And the best time to do this is while I'm doing some passive work. So we're going to get started finally. And what is this? So this is a simple, let's say if you want to call this a series, we could call this RIVEM Outpace, Founder Series. And in this series, what I'm going to do is really show you a behind the scenes and also speak about general investing. It could be just based on whatever I'm looking at. I think it's something that's worthy of sharing. I'm going to jump on here. I'm going to share it. I think that there definitely needs to be more reputable voices in this area, given the lure of the unregulated, given the lure of fast money. So, let me start by going back and reflecting on how I arrived at this point. Give you a story of my journey. And my journey really started, my journey that led me to this path currently, where I'm exploring various fund structures. Specifically, my attention right now is on the hedge fund structure and looking at the viability of establishing a fund. I currently have a real estate company that I am active in, and my plan, given that real estate is the pre-industrial society's single most valued asset class, is to use that hopefully to grow, with the success of that, to explore the fund, structuring the fund. Now, my story, as I was saying, started on the dinner table at home. My dad is an economist by training, and he would take the time to give me lessons in the evening on scarcity and resource allocation. And I do believe, based on how your education is structured, at that early stage in your life, economics would be the general area that would lead you down this specific financial pathway. And I was lucky enough that he took the time, he taught me, gave me those lessons. I developed an interest. Then the global financial crisis happened. That was in 2008, 2009. That captivated my attention. I was glued to the screen. And from that grew a desire to learn of many what seemed like foreign concepts that I've never heard of before, such as derivatives. Then you get into credit default swaps and all these fancy terminology at the time, which was completely foreign to me. So let me see what's going on here with my webcam. It is AI enabled. So let me just ensure the tracking is on. Yeah. So from that stage, and then being aware of this world from the GFC, I, let's say, took a side path. I pursued law, and I have this habit of writing down, which is very beneficial. I would advise any young person, very young person listening to me, to do this, to document your aims, to document your progress towards your aim or aims. And I do have this particular piece of paper that details the specific reasons as to why I pursued law. I had started a fourth year in economics, did very well. I was the youngest in my class, and then met an individual named Sheldon McDonald, who was, you could say, my first mentor. And along with the assistant dean at the time, I believe he was assistant dean, Michael Scott, Professor Michael Scott. They encouraged me to pursue law. Again, I went into that undertaking. And primarily that was due to my father wanting to study law when he was younger, but he didn't have the resources, so I felt a duty as his son to become an attorney. I was, again, the youngest in my class, and I realized I would say a year into studying law, that I really didn't have an interest in becoming an attorney. I stuck it out. I did get my degree. I actually did go to U Wooding. I think I'm probably the only person who went to U Wooding, and in the fourth year I left, so I did not complete my LEC, which is sounds like I should have. Many individuals definitely do tell me that, Alex, you should have finished that, but I would not have gotten here today without leaving, without actually pursuing what I wanted to pursue. And it's a philosophy which I continue today, to pursue exactly what you want to pursue, given all of the factors that you have to consider. You obviously have to consider what is feasible, what is practical, and what is, you could dream very big, but you still need to have achievable steps along the way to not become disillusioned or disenfranchised with that pursuit. So I had let's say a sidestep into law, and then I finally found my bearings when I recentered around economics and finance, and then specifically on energy finance. Right, so my training in energy finance came from Cass Business School, University of London. It's now Bayes Business School, University of London. And I carefully selected that specific business school, which is one of Europe's top business schools, because of Professor Michael Tamvakis. Somewhere to the end of 2016, 2017, when I was in the UK pursuing my first MSc in economics and finance, I came across this book and got fully captivated by it. Demand, supply, pricing of various commodity markets. And at the time, I was also developing an interest in crude oil, given the transformation back home in Guyana. But I found out that he taught at this specific business school, and he was the main reason why I applied to that program, MSc, Energy Trade and Finance, and I went there. Very transformative experience. I think definitely the most transformative academic training that I've received, and I did my thesis in cross-hedging. I don't want to bore you with any of the academic details. I have LinkedIn for that. You could check that out. I'm generally a person, if I'm in a meeting and then somebody just rattles off of all their academic credentials, I tend to lose interest. So when I came back in 2019, it was a watershed moment in Guyana, and a landmark year, because in December 2019, that's when we had forced oil. So I came back in a very charged atmosphere. And the Vice Chancellor of the University of Guyana, Dr. Paloma Mohammed, a good friend of mine, she had a meeting with me, and I saw her vision, and that is how I did my initial stint in Guyana when I came back with the University of Guyana. I was integral in the University of Guyana's energy think tank in terms of the design, the development, and then as the interim head, I was the founding director for the Institute of Energy Diplomacy. And then I moved on into government, where I was a senior technocrat. The last place I worked was the Guyana Revenue Authority, but I worked my longer period with the Ministry of Natural Resources. So I was able to practically apply many of the elements that I was trained with, and that provided me great satisfaction. And when I thought that the maximum value add in that short period I wanted to spend in government was over, as a technocrat, I stepped into this overarching pursuit of the financial sphere and fund management. I primarily have an institutional focus and a focus on an institutional build-out, but I'm very interested in the retail investing space and the growth of the retail investing community, not only here in Guyana, but in the Caribbean, because this is not being appropriately addressed, and this market is going to grow significantly. And there's a lack of credible financial learning, financial content that an individual interested in investing can deploy. Now, moreover, there is a lack of investing products from the financial institutions that individuals could utilize. And I do believe that is going to change in the years to come. In 2020, I would have launched something called Bun Hill Road Reader that eventually became Georgetown Capital. And the intention for that was to provide a credible source of financial learning and financial content. We expanded to business, we expanded to economics. But with RIVEM, we're specifically focused on the retail investing community and providing this credible source of information and learning. Now, I should say we don't provide buy or sell advice. That is not our intention. But our intention is, among the sea of misinformation, among the sea of tactics with fast money and garbage, we are going to ensure that quality content is available on this specific RIVEM Outpace Founder Series. I am going to not only be the one delivering content in an unscripted manner, as you can tell, but I will interview my peers, I will interview individuals who could definitely give you an experience insight into how to go about approaching investing, how to go about approaching trading. So I'm very happy that I finally took the time and I got the first episode done and started this series. And I do hope that you follow RIVEM. We're going to create our LinkedIn, we've created our Facebook, and we're going to create our YouTube channel. You can follow me as well. I'm on Facebook, my public page, or my LinkedIn. And let us undertake this journey together. I do know and I expect to have a very, very niche crowd of individuals who are serious about learning, investing, and trading. And this is really targeted to those individuals, a few individuals that I could reach and maybe that I could hire when I launch my fund. I'm speaking in a very form state because that is how I manifest these things into reality. And I would have to train analysts to my specific style. And that is something that I'm going to speak on in another episode as I'm focused on an everyday basis on alpha and finding alpha pools and alpha buckets that I think that I have a competitive advantage in executing. So until next time, I'm signing off.